In this video, I'm going to extend what I showed about the Ansible HyperCore dynamic inventory plugin. I didn't really get into the guest or showing changes so I wanted to do some of that here. In this case, I've run the particular playbook against this cluster. I also recently, just before that, ran it against the entire fleet. And you can see this playbook. So this is executing right into the virtual machine. It's using HyperCore as the dynamic inventory plugin. It's using the group store apps, which is actually defined by setting the tags, setting the tags in the group here, or they have that store apps group. So these VMs are all in that particular group. And if I wanted to do something across a fleet, either multiple VMs on a cluster or multiple clusters, for example, here, you can see I've got a Docker stats running just in a watch. And let's say I want to run a new Docker container. So I had this ready to go here. This task here is going to create a container called CMS apps. This is the container name. The policy should be started, and it's going to open up a web port. I'm going to go ahead here and we'll run it against the entire fleet. So it's going to go out to all the VMs that match this inventory, all the clusters that are in my inventory, and then for each cluster, all the VMs that match that application inventory. And we'll watch it here. We've got the verbose mode, so we can see what it's doing within each cluster. And when it gets around to this particular one in here, it will, this is connecting directly into these. We can see that there's changes being made on each of these because I had removed that Docker container. Now the Docker container is being deployed and configured across my entire fleet. So all of my clusters, in this case, it's actually multiple VMs here that are running this particular container. It's up and running, and I can go ahead and click in on the user console for that as well. So I wanted to show again how this can be used end to end, all the way from the fleet level down to the site and cluster level, down to the virtual machine level, down to individual applications and full life cycle, all the way through initial deployment to day 2 operations and updates. I could easily add additional containers, change versions, anything that I need to do, all simply through Ansible automation.